Okay, so I'm going to try something here this morning. I want to be able to use Camtasia Studio and use multiple cameras. Now, I could use OBS to do the recording, but the reason I use Camtasia Studio is for what I'm doing tutorials and walkthroughs, is that it allows me to follow the mouse and do some easier zoom-ins and things that make it easier to see what we're teaching on and training on. So in order to swap the camera input back and forth, I want to be able to set it up on the Stream Deck. So like if I'm live streaming with OBS, I can just press a button and it changes the camera source. But we can't do that inside of Camtasia. It doesn't give you that option. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and use OBS's virtual camera function, pipe that into Camtasia. And from there, we will see if it behaves the way we want it to. So what I've done here is I've added just a new scene called cameras, and I've got my first camera here, which is the Logitech camera. So we have the Logitech Brio, which is what we're seeing right now. So let's go ahead and add one more video capture source, and not window. We want to add in our video capture device, Cam Nikon. Okay, there we go. Bring this in. And actually what I like to do is I like to embed my sources into my scenes. So like here I've got Cam Nikon, here I've got Cam Logi. And what I prefer to do is set up each individual scene like so. So I can crop it down exactly the way I want. And then inside of my cameras, instead of actually adding a source, I want to add a scene. So now I'll add my scene, Cam Logi. Same thing here, source Cam Nikon. The reason I do this is that you can use things like source record, filters on the scenes or the source. And then when you're bringing that in, you're bringing all of that information and data with it versus having to set it up every single time. It just keeps things a little bit cleaner, a little bit neater, a little bit easier to use and manipulate. All right, so we're gonna come back over here and add, we need the Nikon now, source Cam Nikon. There we go. And you can see that I've got the whole scene is brought in, right? So if I come back over here to my Cam Nikon, I can resize this to the way I want. If I hold down Control, it allows me to crop this. So I can just crop this here. And then I can fill this whole thing if I want to, however I want. Maybe about like that, I think. Bring this up. This Nikon camera has some black borders around the outside of it, so you got to kind of crop them off. It makes it just a little bit frustrating trying to get it to work exactly the way you want, but you know, no reason to get rid of a good camera. All right. And I'm just gonna shuffle that up. So now when I go over to my cameras here, I can toggle this one off, toggle this one on, off, on. Okay. All right, so now that I've got this one set up, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and configure my Stream Deck so that I can push each one of these buttons, and as I toggle these, it will turn them on and off. There are a couple different ways that you can do this. If you don't have a Stream Deck, you can use Hotkeys. So let me show you how to do that real quick. Here, Preferences, Settings, and Hotkeys. And so if we type in source, what we can do is we can do Control-Alt-N to show it, and Control-Alt-N, I think, to turn it off. Let's see if that works. Remove that one. Cam Nikon. Control-Alt, and it is not working. Let's try that again. Settings. Let's try here. Source cam Nikon, not the scene. Okay, so now that we have that configured, we can see by pressing Control-Alt-N, we can turn our sources on and off. And with that, we got our hotkey here. And you can notice here, if I'm zoomed in and I press this Control-Alt-N, that it's popping up behind it. So ordering matters when you're doing this. So make sure that you get your order set in the method that you want. So I press up here now. You can see if I set Control-Alt-N, there you go. See, it's popping up just the way we want. So if it's not showing up directly for you the first time, make sure that you do go ahead and check your order. Okay, so next, let's go ahead and set this as an output. So in order for us to pick it up in our other software, we need to add a filter, and that filter is going to be the NDI. If you don't have NDI, make sure you download the NDI tools and make sure that your NDI plugin is installed in OBS. But go ahead and add a new NDI output, and you just call that whatever you want to call it. So you can give it NDI name. So in my case, I'm calling it NDI cameras, and then click apply. Okay, so now I've got my NDI cameras. Now I need to open up my NDI tools. So open up your NDI tools, and you're going to click on webcam. And when you click on webcam, it should pop up and show you this little icon here in the corner called NDI webcam. And you see right there, that's what the little icon looks like, NDI webcam. Little yellow lock looking thing. Anyway, so we're going to open up NDI webcam. And what you want to do is you want to set one of your cameras to have the video source that you've selected. So like here, let's say Kodiak and NDI cameras. That's what we got set up right here, right now. The nice thing is you can have this set with another machine. So for example, if I wanted to stream from the computer over here behind me, or have a webcam on that, I can just send that same output from OBS running over there, and I can pick it up on this computer and hook it into my Camtasia or whatever recording software I have. Okay, so now I've got that set. So once again, you see if I press Control-Alt-N, you can see there in the little NDI webcam, that's feeding it through. Okay, so now we can take this into our Stream Deck. And what you're going to do is you want to find OBS. So type in OBS from the top. And you're going to add in a source visibility. Inside of source visibility, you will find our new camera scene, and we can have our sources. So just add one for your cameras. Right here, I've got one for Nikon and one for Logi. All right. If you want to do it extra fancy, you can do a multi-action switch. So let me show you how to set this up. So what a multi-action switch does is it allows us when we press the button, it turns one input off and turns the other one on. So it toggles them back and forth so that you've got each individual input when we press that. All right. So we'll go into multi-action switch, and I'll walk you through how to create this. So once again, we go into OBS. We will take our scene, source visibility, our camera scene that we just created, and our source of Nikon. And I want to show this one. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this real quick. Paste. And this one is our Logitech. And my Logitech, when I press this button, I want it to hide. So when I press this button, it's going to turn this on, and then it's going to turn that one off. Now the multi-action switch, when you press it again, does this secondary option over here. So since the secondary option, I'm just going to paste that again. I want to take that Nikon and I want to hide it. And then in this case, I want to take the Logi and show it. So one is set to set it as shown, and the other one is set to set as hide and show the other. So I want to come back, and I press my toggle button. It will toggle my two cameras. So we can see there, it toggles back and forth between my two cameras. Now, if you want to get really fancy, you can even go a step further and bring it into Nvidia Broadcast. So if you have a Nvidia graphics card, open up your Nvidia Broadcast software, and you can just set your camera source to your NDI video webcam. And what this allows you to do is have all of your features, like background blur and auto framing and all of that, now made available to you as well. So when you press the button, once again, we still swap our cameras back and forth. And when you go into your Camtasia Studio, just make sure that you select NVIDIA Broadcast instead of NDI webcam. So just a couple different options and ways of routing this all through. And hopefully you can put some use to it. Maybe it'll add a little mix to your recording that normally you wouldn't be able to have if you were just using Camtasia directly. Maybe one day they'll add multicam support, but for now, it's kind of a hacky but effective workaround. All right. Well, that's it for me today. Happy creating, best of luck, and we'll see you on the next one.